Before we finish for the week, can you just summarize what we talked about?
Yeah, we're talking about the importance of biblical scholarship and whether the kind of historical scholarship that I and many others do is damaging to faith, or whether it destroys faith. And my view is that it does not destroy faith. It doesn't need to destroy faith. There's no reason it needs to destroy faith unless your faith is a fundamentalist faith. You may not think you have a fundamentalist faith, but if your faith is that you've got to believe every word of the Bible or you can't be a Christian, then you've got that's a fundamentalist belief, whether you consider yourself a fundamentalist or not. I think biblical scholarship can certainly change faith. It can mature faith. It can make faith more knowledgeable rather than ignorant, and so that's good. And it can lead people to be more open-minded about the world generally, which can lead to a loss of faith. But I don't think the scholarship itself is going to destroy faith, and I don't think people need to be afraid of scholarship any more than they ought to be afraid of any other knowledge. Knowledge is good.
Hey, Google, stop. Wow, good old Bart. How do you reply to something like that? It's an unbelievable thing. I mean, fundamentalists, if you believe that the Bible is the Word of God, wow, that's incredible. And it is, because it says so, and because Jesus said so. And so, why so many translations? Why so many manuscripts? Why so many early Bible translations? Why so many citations from pastors beginning in the first century? You ask yourself, where am I going to find the Word of God in all of that? Can I tell you? Here a little, there a little. You need to read Isaiah 28 and ask yourself, does the prophecy of Isaiah 28 transcend the Assyrians and the Romans? And I believe it does, and it's easily provable. Because Isaiah 28 is coming judgment on the nation of Israel. Why? They rejected the rest. They rejected the refreshing. The cornerstone was rejected and they stumbled. So how on earth is that the Assyrians? Although I believe it is the Assyrians for the 10 northern tribes, but the Babylonians invaded Jerusalem, the southern tribes. When did the Romans do that? Well, the Romans did that when the cornerstone, was rejected. Peter says so on the day of Pentecost. Now listen, Paul references this coming judgment on the nation and says a sign of speaking in tongues is going to happen at that time as a sign of this coming judgment. How on earth can that be the Assyrians? And in 1 Corinthians 14:21, Paul quotes Isaiah 28, verse 11. Hey, Isaiah 28 is messianic. It transcends time. So they stumbled, it says, and they fell backwards. And so God's going to start all over. He's going to wean them like a baby, it says. And where is the Word of God in the New Testament? Well, it's here a little, there a little. We see it in the massive manuscripts, the massive translations, early translations. Whatever you're going to use, it'll represent the Word of God, because God said it's not going to be in a scroll, in a book like the Old Testament. It's going to be here a little and there a little. And that's what we see in church history. Various translations beginning in the early 2nd century, onward, Jerome's translation, whatever translation you're going to use comes from that massive amount of evidence. And why do it that way? Well, my friend, the Bible was hated. Hated, my friend. The New Testament was hated before it was even born.